Hello everyone, I'm Tracey Davis with the City of Columbus, Department of Development Housing Division. I'm the Development Program Manager for the American Dream Down Payment Initiative, also known as the ADDI program. Today I'm going to be narrating our ADDI and Home Mortgage Assistance training sessions. The topics to be discussed include the key players involved, the ADDI program guidelines, the required documents, the process of receiving and closing a file, as well as all the procedures in between. Introduction. The American Dream Down Payment Initiative, or ADDI, helps moderate income households finance a home. The buyers must meet program requirements. Funds are available on a first-come, first-served basis, and the funds are renewed on a yearly basis. It's a HUD-funded program, but it's managed by the City of Columbus. Topics of discussion: program guidelines, visual assessment request, or the Decent, Safe, and Sanitary inspection, known as our DS&S, required documents, income calculation, home buyer education, commitment letter, arrival and closing procedures and documents, the receipt of funds, also known as the ADDI check. Key players: Housing Division, City Property Inspector, City Relocation Specialist, Environmental Review, the lenders, processors, and underwriters, realtors, sellers, Home Buyer Education Agency, and the first-time home buyers, which you cannot have owned a home within the past 3 years. Program guidelines. The property is the applicant's principal residence. They must stay in the home for 5 years. 80% or below area median income. Property is located within City of Columbus corporation limits and within the City of Columbus Public School District. Home buyer must contribute $500 of their own funds into the purchase of the home. Home buyer education fee, housing inspections, and appraisals count towards the $500. However, you must have proof of payment, which can be a copy of a check or a bank statement entry, and submit copy of the inspection report to the City of Columbus. The award amount is 6% of sales purchase price. The maximum is $5,000. Housing debt to income can be no higher than 35%. Total debt to income can be no higher than 45%. And again, this must be the applicant's principal residence for 5 years. If the buyer moves within 5 years, ADDI funds must be repaid in full from the sale proceeds. Visual assessment, decent, safe, and sanitary request. Must submit for all properties receiving federal assistance. May be submitted before the application packet. Property assessed to ensure lead-based paint is secured and property is habitable. Complete the form with the contact person and applicant's information. Please list daytime numbers. Rehab must require certificate of occupancy and inspection. If the certificate of occupancy is over 6 months old, the DS&S will be required. New builds are excluded. However, final certificate of occupancy permit is mandatory. Residential property disclosure forms assist in the inspection process. Please note if the loan is the 203K on the form. You will receive a pass or fail by email when inspection is complete. The DS&S does not replace owner's due diligence for a home inspection. Required documents: originals, City ADDI application, signed and dated by all household members 18 years and older. Home buyer disclosure statement, signed and notarized by all household members 18 years and older. The W-9 form, and this link can be found on our website. Beginning April 1st, 2019, we require the home buyer budget form. This can be submitted by our home buyer education counselors, and please see that link on our website. The Ohio driver's license. Please make copies on photo setting. The home buyer education certificate, certificate of insurance, the lender application or the HUD 1003. If changes occur on the 1003, such as loan amount, interest rate, or name change, lender must sign an initial and date before resubmitting the lender application. Credit report submitted by the applicant and co-applicant. Tax returns, 2 most recent years filed. Income verification or pay stubs. We require 2 months of pay stubs from all household members 18 years and older for each job. Affidavit of income is required for non-working adults 18 years and older. Verification of student status form and transcripts for household members 18 years and older. The 3 most recent bank statements for each bank account. We require written explanation for non-payroll deposits of $100 or more. Divorce decree or child support verification. The child support verification documents must contain dates and payment amounts, signed purchase contract, along with any addendums or extensions, residential property disclosure, final certificate of occupancy for new construction, lead paint notification for homes built before 1978. The appraisal, notice of acquisition of all HUD-assisted projects. That's to determine the fair market value. If you're using the Franklin County Auditor's website, please include the summary page, and please note that it must be dated prior to the signature date. The notice of acquisition must be signed by the seller, but dated after the signed appraisal is conducted. Owner's certificate of no displacement. HUD funds cannot be used to displace a resident. Time disclosure, signed by all buyers, sellers, and agents. Visual assessment, or the DS&S, and also the legal description. Check with your title company or the Franklin County Recorder's Office for a copy of your legal description. Things to remember for the required documents: the city loan application and lender loan application. Make sure all information is identical. Use the applicant's first and last names, the marital status, and number of household occupants. The copy of driver's license must be used on the photo setting. Make sure all parties sign where appropriate. Submit all forms of income. And remember, you must submit explanations for all non-payroll deposits of $100 or more. Income calculation. Documentation needed for income verification is the SSI/disability benefit letter. We do not gross up Social Security or other benefits. The affidavit of income for non-working household members. Child support or alimony documents. Profit and loss statement for business owners. For working adults, 2 months of pay stubs for each job from all household members 18 years and older. If applicants are working overtime and they're over the income guidelines, we will recalculate without the overtime, but the applicant must sign and submit an affidavit of overtime form. Below is an example of our income calculation. The gross income is calculated from the current year through the end of the year. For example, gross income is $27,969.69. The payroll period end date is 11/9/2018. That number of weeks is 46. Their monthly income is $2,634.83. The annual household income is $31,617.91. This is a household income of 2. The maximum income household for ADDI is $48,900. That calculates their AMI to 51.73%. Again, we will recalculate without overtime, but the applicant must sign and submit an affidavit of overtime form. Homebuyer education. The lender cannot perform the homebuyer education. The agency must be approved by the City of Columbus Housing Division. Face-to-face counseling is mandatory. You must be completed prior to ordering the down payment check, and the certificate expires in 1 year. Lender is sent email notification that the file has been received, even if you drop it off. The applications is sent a loan estimate form and cover letter as per the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or the CFPB, within 3 business days of receipt of the file. The loan estimate is not a guarantee or approval of funding. At this time, the file is reviewed and internal reports are requested. File review, city relocation. For the city relocation, the documents and information needed are notice of acquisition of HUD-assisted projects, the appraisal, owner's certificate of no displacement, the City of Columbus application, the first page of the purchase contract plus any addendums and/or contract extensions. File review, environmental review. We need the property address, the total amount of the project, and the purchase price of the home, and the amount of the ADDI funds requested. What we're looking for in the environmental review is whether or not the property is in the floodplain and any changes in land use. Once the file is reviewed, if it's not complete, lender and all interested parties will receive an email with the applicant's name, address, and deficiency in the subject line. For some of the examples below, the Ohio driver's license, they did not use photo setting, the homebuyer education certificate was missing, the purchase contract was missing, and the bank statements were non-payroll deposits of $100 or more. The commitment letter. The original letter is mailed to the applicant. A copy is emailed to the lender and all interested parties. Closing disclosure and title company information is requested at this time. The loan amount, interest rate, and city employee ID number is also listed. We're asking that you notify the city 48 hours before the date of closing. For those using capital bond funds, the city process ends here, and we'll have a later slide for more distinctions. City closing disclosure. At this time, an applicant is sent a city closing disclosure form as per the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau within 3 days of approval of the file, and funds are requested at this time. Turnaround time to receive an ADDI check is typically 8 to 10 business days. The closing documents. These include the letter to the title company, the loan agreement, the restrictive covenant, which has to be signed and recorded and is typically 1 to 3 pages, the promissory note, the affidavit of eligibility, the mortgage, which is also signed and recorded and typically 1 to 2 pages, the homebuyer survey, the AmeriNational disclosure form, and the ADDI check. The closing documents are not processed without the final closing disclosure. A conventional loan can be closed without the ADDI check at closing if the lender agrees to fund the loan and then wait on the ADDI check. City policy prohibits funding of loans if the closing occurs without city knowledge. City policy prohibits applicants from picking up the ADDI closing packages. Receipt of funds. The city auditor processes fund requests on a first-come, first-served basis. Please do not contact them. The city will notify the lender by email when the check arrives. The final closing disclosure may be requested again if it hasn't arrived. The final closing date and the title company contact information. The timeline. The average total processing time with a completed application packet is typically 4 to 6 weeks. Process is completed sooner with a completed package. Program distinctions. We do not accept land contracts. We do not accept multifamily dwellings, and we do not accept ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages. Capital bond information. Most required documents are the same, but here are some key differences. There's no income limit. Although income verification is still required, sales price and appraisal must be the same. If not, the contract addendum is required, and there's flexible affordability limits of 120% AMI. Buyer assistance goes from the city to the developer to the home buyer. No loan estimate, no closing disclosure, or no city closing documents are necessary. The bond affordability comes from the developer, not the City of Columbus. Some of the developers we worked with are Healthy Neighborhoods, Healthy Homes, and Homeport. What we look for in the application. Some of the key factors are qualifying income, qualifying ratios, the credit report, buyer demographics, signature of the buyers and the sellers, 48-hour notification, and most important, a complete file. Lender success tools, the required documents checklist. The first 3 documents must be originals, signed and dated documentation, and most of all, a complete application packet. Please do not hesitate to call or email me with questions or concerns. Again, I'm Tracey Davis, and I can be reached at 614-645-8530, or you can email me at tldavis@columbus.gov. Thank you, and have a great day.